Hey everyone, I had this pretty sick game with my Varian Wrynn Warrior that I've been playing. So I recorded it, but I wanted to put some commentary on top of it. So before I get started real quick, you see the deck list over there on the right. The top card is 2 Executes and the bottom card is Varian, in case you can't tell. So I'm looking at it, sorry, that's why I'm not looking at the camera. I really like it. It's performing pretty well for me. I was playing mainly Reno Warrior that I made last season, but that hasn't been doing super well for me this season. So I've always liked Varian. I always thought when he got announced that the card was sick, so I just decided to try to build a more standard control warrior using Varian. Some of the things in here that are a little unique, the double brawl is sometimes interesting, but it helps with a lot of matchups. You'll see why in this game, um, especially why the double brawl was really good. And I'm also running Fugan and Stalag, and I like them a lot because with the Varian Battlecry, um, they're not minions that rely on a Battlecry, and they're super high value in terms of stats. And most people aren't going to silence them, or even if they do, then they burn your silence, and then you get to use your Sarah without a silence. But you're likely going to get Thaddeus too. So if you use Varian and you pull those minions out, then it's so much value because the whole thing with Varian is you don't want to get minions with Battlecry, but even if you do, it's really not that bad with this deck. The only issue would be with Justicar. You can't play Justicar without Varian. Like that would just kill you. Every other card's okay. You lose the boom bots, but so what? Every other card is fine. Rag would be good in this deck, but I can't really find anything to cut to try it. I guess I could cut Shield Maiden, perhaps. And I think Deathwing is really good in this deck. I personally would be good in this deck. I personally don't have Deathwing. A friend of mine was playing the deck with Deathwing and said that it's won him a game or two. So I might consider removing a Brawl for a Deathwing. If I ever got a Deathwing, I would 100% test it. But Deathwing can be used as another removal, but if you also don't need it and you get Deathwing off of Varian, then you just get a free 12/12 on the board. Like, it's absolutely insane. So we're going to run through this game, and I'm going to put some commentary on top of it. I only recorded the last 10 minutes on my Shadow play, so that's why it starts here on turn 2, but you're not missing anything. I had two 3-drops in my hand, so I coined out the Acolyte. This guy didn't play anything the first 3 turns, so I assume it's Reno Lock is what I assume, but it ends up being Hand Lock. He plays 4 Giants, not just 2. So I feel like that's a harder match for this Warrior. I feel like this Warrior handles Reno pretty well, but I haven't played a standard Hand Lock in a long time. Ever since Reno came out, Reno Lock has been the popular deck archetype instead of Handlock. It's like takes the Handlock and it puts the Reno inside of it. So I just play the Acolyte, and here I just armor up because I don't need to put the taunt down for anything. I was going to save the taunt for when the dragon comes on this turn, obviously. So here comes the dragon, what he had in his first card in his hand. So here I'm just going to play the monkey, just so that he can't hit my face for 4. He has to take out the monkey first. And I eat a dark bomb, which is pretty good for me to eat the acolyte, because it's not like I was going to get any. I was very unlikely to get more than 1 card off of that. So eating a dark bomb there is good. Obviously here turn 5, just going to play the Belcher. I'm just slowing down the Twilight Drake from hitting my face here. That's my whole goal in this play. Drops the Emperor here on turn 6, so I'm able to handle that because the 4 attack cannot kill the Belcher. So I can hit it with a combination of things. So I'm going to play the Armor Smith here first to get some armor from the Sludge Belcher attack. And then I'm going to play my War Axe, and I'm just going to trade here into the Emperor. And then I still have this 1/2 Slime here, still eating damage from the Twilight Drake, and it's going to get me even more armor because the Armor Smith is on the board. So that was my play there on that turn. You have to get rid of Emperor against a Handlock. You just have to, because he got so much value. He saved like 8 mana that turn, 7 or 8 mana. And here's just going to taunt him up. So let's see what I do here. I think I'm just like pretending I don't remember because I really don't remember what I do. But just looking at this play, I think what I would do is I would kill the Drake, and then I would play the Shield Maiden, is what I would go for. Because I don't think there's any need to brawl here. It's a little early. Oh, it's turn 7. I didn't even see Dr. Boom. Please, please ignore me. I did not even see Dr. Boom. Obviously, it's turn 7. I'm going to drop Dr. Boom. Pretty good at giving commentary on top of my old matches. So he eats the big game hunter, which is fine with me. Not a big deal. Drops the void collar. So here I have no way to get past the 4/5 without using like my bash and trading everything in. So I try to see where the Boombot goes. The Boombot takes out the 2/2. And I'm not really worried about the 4/4. So I just play the Shield Maiden and armor up. I'm just trying to make him trade with me, just to avoid him hitting my face. That's my whole goal here. The 5/5 threatens killing the 4/4, so he's probably thinking that he has to get rid of it this turn. So, and then he drops a giant. And he taunts it up too. So that was a pretty big play for him. And he's able to take out my armor smith. Hit me in the face for 4 with the BGH. He's gonna life tap probably. Or not life tap, interesting. So here I top deck the shield slam, which is helpful. But I wanted to check before I brawled. I wanted to kill the Voidwalker, knowing that he plays Jiraxis and Mal'Ganis. So I brawl here, and what's left is the 9/9, but I have a shield slam. So that was a pretty perfect play for me. I mean, it could have gone, I guess, a little better and not have to use the shield slam that turn, but it worked out pretty well. And then he follows up with another Mountain Giant and another Void Caller. So here I feel like I'm in a little bit of trouble initially, but I top deck another shield slam. And I'm thinking, what else could I possibly want to shield slam? And the only other thing I'm worried about are like the other giants and Dr. Boom. But I'm just going to shield slam it. It's a big tempo play. And then I'm going to play the Sylvanas. Because the Voidwalker's Death Rattle triggers after the Sylvanas Death Rattle. So if he were to eliminate this, I would get whatever comes out of the Voidwalker. But he's going to silence it, I believe. Yeah, he silences it with the Owl. And he's probably still going to eliminate it. He's got his other Dark Bomb. So he Dark Bombs it and trades. And he drops his first Molten Giant. And Jiraxis comes out of the other Voidwalker. So I'm going to Justicar here. But before I Justicar, I'm going to armor up and then Justicar and then armor up. So my thinking here is that I'm not in a huge need to brawl yet because I have lots of life. And he's probably going to trade something into the Justicar to kill it so that I can execute something next turn too. And he drops the last Molten Giant. So here's where not expecting the double brawl. So obviously he laid me up for a sick brawl right here. And then I have the execute if Jiraxis survives. And the slam. Top deck too. So I brawl. And then we see who survives. One of the giants. So I'm just going to slam it and execute it to get that off the board. And then I armor up. And of course I have the Justicar armor, so I'm doing really well here, considering his Jiraxis is gone, and his giants are diminishing, and his Mal'Ganis is gone, that the more life I get, the easier this game's going to be. So he's running out of steam right here. He heals up with a heal bot. Taunts him up. Pretty solid play. One of the best he could do with the options he has left. So I'm just going to drop the Deathbite to kill the 3/3 so that he can't easily trade into the Stalag with the 2/3 and the 3/3. So it makes it a little bit harder for him to kill the Stalag. Hopefully that I'm playing that so hopefully I could kill the Ancient Watcher with it. That was my plan. drops his other Twilight Drake, running out of cards in his hand, so and his deck even too. So, but here I have the Despite up. So knowing that I can clear most of his board, I trade the Stalag first. Doesn't really matter the order I do it, and then I play the Grommash and kill the Drake, so I can hit him in the face for 10. Setting up for lethal, knowing he can't heal back up unless he has another heal bot. He plays the Sylvanas and the Shadow Flame. Pretty good play by him. Which steals him the Grommash, and he gets to hit me for 12 right there that turn. Now, I of course have no cards in my hand, sorry. So I'm forced to, I have to kill this. I can't leave it on the board. So I have to take 20 damage from this Grommash, and I get down to 15. But I'm still winning the game, because I was so high in life. It was a tough trade to make, but I couldn't leave it on the board, or I would just die. So. Gets a Hellfire here. And a Mortal Coil. I'm not sure. The Hellfire struck me as a little odd, but I guess he just wanted to clear the board so that he could play Doomguard. And he discards a Healbot. That's kind of bad for him, now that I see that he discarded the Healbot. But I top deck the best card in my deck, the Varian. And knowing that I have taunts in my deck, all I knew was that I just need to draw a taunt, and then he well plays me, as you can see, because he could obviously life tap into Power Overwhelming to just win the game. So, of course, he doesn't show me what he top decks. He might play something, but I don't get to see both cards, I think. So, I would assume if he plays Doomguard, he had a Power Overwhelming. But I won't ever know if that last card was a Power Overwhelming. It might not have been, so I might have still been alive. But the Varian definitely, the Varian might not have won me the game, but I think it was pretty important there in that game. So that's my Varian deck that I've been running. I've had high success with it. I was playing with Wrynn Warrior beginning of the season, and I just wasn't climbing the ladder at all. So I started playing the Varian Warrior at rank 16. And I was up as high as 11, so if I don't play too much Hearthstone anymore. But I mean, I'm trying to play. I just don't get to play as often as I would like. So I got up to 11, and I fell a little bit, and I'm back to 12. And then I just win streaked back up to 11 earlier today. So that's the Varian deck. It's over there on the right. So check it out if you want to give it a chance. Thanks, guys.